the Warrior Healing Center with the Veteran-Owned Business Network. And we have another veteran with us today, of course. And thanks to Eric. Eric lined us up. Eric, great job getting our business of fellow veteran-owned business owners to come on the show. And we're going to do some right away. James Hale. And now we've had a lot of different businesses on this show. Everything from puppet maker, literally, a guy that makes puppets.
Sure.
We've had,
I've met him. Great guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sure
We had a lot of fun.
Great.
We had a fun show. It was, everybody has a hard time topping his show because we just played with his puppets and had a blast.
That's awesome.
So we've had real estate agents on our show. We've had restaurant owners on our show. We've had martial arts experts on our show. We've had all kinds of guests. But yours is very unique too. You do some. But first, let's ask about your military background. You served in the.
I am a Marine.
A Marine.
Yes, I served in the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. Yeah, we got the Marines up here somewhere. Right, there we are. Yeah, Army, Air Force, and a little bit of Navy over there. We got them all represented. So then you know Gunny probably, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, we've had him on the show too. Great guy. Anyway, so Marine. Now I'm going to speculate. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Of course, I'll give it away. I think I know what your MOS was in the Marine Corps.
Ooh, okay.
I could be wrong.
Let's give it a shot.
We're going to find out. Maybe a type of pilot?
A drone pilot.
A drone pilot. Oh,
So,
wow. How did I know that?
Interestingly enough, so I actually helped build the drone program for the Marine Corps.
Really?
I was a part of the very first group of officers that were selected to start a brand new specialty in the Marine Corps.
No kidding.
And get all the training lined up, get all the get all the right bits and pieces put together to professionalize it and then make it what it is today. So it was really neat to be a part of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to tell you my little drone. So I was in the 82nd Airborne.
Okay.
In a Desert Storm. And a friend of mine, his real name's Doc Holliday. And, John Holliday, but here we call him Doc Holliday.
Of course.
And he was a Romeo. In the Army, Romeos were the guys that put the ground sensors in the ground. But apparently, because I found out from our other guest that why they picked him, because I guess the ground sensors had similar features that drones have. Okay, as far as detecting things, without getting too technical.
Sure.
So they had this big thing. We're in Saudi Arabia, and there was a prototype drone. Because that was back in those days. Drones were brand new.
Yes.
Brand new prototype. Didn't have any pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked my friend to be the pilot. And he's like, I don't know how to fly this thing. Yeah, he lost it.
Yeah.
It flew off into the distance, into the middle of the Saudi desert.
Takes some
Never
skill.
been found again.
Yeah.
But now they're everywhere. So you helped start the program in the Marine Corps. Were you an officer?
I was an officer.
Okay.
I was. Now, to clarify, so when I say that I helped kind of build and establish the program, that was really just kind of establishing the officer side in terms of professionalizing and helping establish the primary specialty, right? The Marine Corps had drones since the 80s.
Oh,
And
okay.
in fact, to the credit of the enlisted Marines, they were really the backbone of the community, because at the time, since there weren't officers in the Marine Corps with the primary specialty of drone pilot or UAS operator, it was actually enlisted pilots, right? And there were enlisted pilots, and they were bringing in officers that were either winged aviators, right? That were essentially on grounded tours that were assigned to Marine Corps drone units, or they were command and control officers, or ATC and or Tactical Air Operations Center, DASC officers, Direct Air Support Control officers, that were brought over and given like a collateral duty to help kind of staff the drone squadrons in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
But it wasn't really professionalized until 2012.
Yeah. Okay. And then that was, you helped kind of establish everything more systematic and official.
That's accurate. That's
And,
accurate.
okay.
So it was actually, I was a command and control officer first.
Okay. So, I made the right guess.
You did.
Now I kind of cheated though, because I'm going to tell the audience I kind of cheated because How did I know that he was a drone pilot of some kind in the Marine Corps? Because guess what he does today? His business is, I'm going to say this right, Spectral Feathers.
That's correct.
Is the name of the business. And he is a business that does drones, cameras, shots, video. Matter of fact, we got one right there.
Yep.
Let's show them. They've gotten so much smaller.
Tiny.
They're so tiny.
It's amazing. If you look at that camera right there, that's about the size of your thumb, maybe a little bit smaller. That can get 4K video, 48 megapixel pictures, and just stunning detail.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It is. I get yeah, and they keep getting smaller, more sophisticated, and easier to use too, more friendly. I've done a couple TV shows. I did one on National Geographic and one on History Channel.
Okay.
The one on National Geographic, we were filming in Sardinia, and they hired two Italians, locals to do the drone shots, and it's awesome because we were touring ancient ruins, and they could go way up and take the shots. But what surprised me, one day, they were filming at this one location, and they were done with me, and so the director told me, if you want to go to the Roman baths, because he knew I wanted to shoot those, and they weren't going to make it. He goes, if you want to take the two drone guys and go shoot over there, go ahead. So we drove over to these Roman baths, really elaborate, hot and cold running water, the whole bit, ancient ruins. And they were doing the drone, but it got real windy, and it started having little problems with the drone. So he literally just took the drone and held it as like a handheld camera.
You can do it.
And followed me around,
Sure.
and did the whole scene like that, and it worked beautiful.
You have to do it. You just improvise and adapt and overcome.
And it's funny because you got the other guys that they had with the film crew with the big literally $200,000 cameras, that fit on the shoulder and all these. And then there's a guy with the drone getting just as good at pictures.
Of course.
I was like, I mean, why are you paying $200,000 anymore? But they still use those big cameras. But you don't really have to. That's what's amazing.
Yeah.
You can do so much with.
It's just really amazing.
Yeah.
What in such a small package, what you can do. My business really kind of just focuses, at least initially right now, on real estate photography and videography, right? To help the local realtors get those beautiful shots, give different perspective, for buyers, and help them sell homes quicker, right? But that's just kind of the leading edge of what I'm hoping to do with the business in the future. I'd love to be able to get into doing roofing inspections. There's drones that have thermal capabilities also. So there's a whole other world of things that you can do there. There's power line inspections, there's commercial safety inspections, agriculture, search and rescue. Each of those in its own right can be another division of the business as it grows out. So,
well, we've had a couple of real estate agents on the show. Matter of fact, last week, if you're tuning in, you're members of the Veteran Network, real estate agents. We got your guy right here that can help you sell homes. I mean, and what a great tool to use for real estate, because then you get that nice overview of all the property and everything. Yeah,
absolutely,
we got it.
Yeah, and the neat thing about it too is, with the military experience that I had, and also being a private pilot, I was able to roll that experience and those qualifications essentially right over to getting the FAA license required to do commercial work with the drone. Right, which actually is, it is a requirement. A lot of folks don't know that.
Right.
So in order to use a drone commercially to further a business or further someone else's business, you have to have that FAA, what they call a Part 107 UAS commercial license, and that's something that's actually been focused on a lot recently. I'd say probably heavily in the past 2 to 3 years. It used to be that drones were viewed as toys, and you had recreational pilots and you just go fly and do anything with it. But it was really a matter of safety. The FAA realized that, something this small can easily take down a commercial jetliner or a private pilot flying around in his aircraft, right? Think of the life flight helicopter that flies around. If you got, a young man or young woman out there flying something small like this, and they're not thinking airspace and they're not thinking safety, planning, and all of those things that are required, educationally, right, to earn that license. You can kill people.
Right.
You can cause an
Right.
accident. So yeah, being able to use that experience in the military and then attain that qualification to be able to legally provide those services is huge.
Right.
So I can do this safely.
Safely
Vista,
and not against the law. So you
safely
don't want to
and
be
legally.
driving a zone and then, oops, it accidentally flew into Fort Huachuca. Oops,
Oh, yeah.
that was an accident.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because with the proximity to Libby Army Airfield and proximity to the air base here, every time I take a look at a job or have a job offering, I have to take a look at where the location is, make sure that it's not within the restricted airspace, and then actually there is a process to ask for a waiver or an authorization up to a certain altitude for a very short specific period of time, legally to do that. But they will know who I am. They will know that my aircraft, in fact, is registered with the FAA.
Yeah.
And I'm responsible.
Yeah. So if you think you're just gonna go out and get a UAV, of course now they're not calling them UAVs anymore in the Army. They had to change the name. They always have to change the names to everything. Now they're a UAF.
It's a UAS.
Oh, UAS.
System. It's a system. So
yeah.
If you think about it, right, it used to be UAV because they were talking about, well, it's just the unmanned aerial vehicle. Well, it's more than that, because it's not just this. You have a controller on the ground, and sometimes you have other associated equipment that are talking. So it's a whole system. Vice just.
Say he's trying to sell me on the name change. Did you hear? He's trying to sell.
I've had to justify it before.
I just like to keep things the same. If I get used to it, UAV. I still say UAV. I still do. But everybody, no, it's a UAS. Okay, UAS. I got you. But that makes sense.
You bring up a funny point, because in the military they actually changed the official terminology to RPA, which is remotely piloted aircraft or remotely piloted system. Okay. Because it's not just a drone. When people think you hear drone, they think of this thing that's autonomous and just flying around and doing its own thing. Well, there's a human in the loop.
Yeah, there is a pilot.
There's a remotely piloted.
Yeah, there is a pilot. You have to be able to fly the things.
Yes.
And know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And the legal parts are big.
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't want to be. Yeah, like I said, if somebody gets one of those and thinks it's a toy and flies over Fort Huachuca, you might find yourself being visited.
Absolutely.
By some people that you don't want to visit you.
Local law enforcement and or the FAA knocking at your door.
Yeah. It's like people that used to play with those lasers too. And they thought it was fun, and then they found out, you could actually have a airplane go down because you're playing around with a laser.
You can blind a pilot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good deal. So legal. Make sure you get a legal person with a drone. We got one right here, by the way. Handy. So that's your answer. So I got one question. So back to my film. So one thing I always thought, because I was so impressed, and I thought, man, I could actually make a whole film, a documentary, our movie with a drone. I could. The only question I had was they weren't able to hook up sound.
Okay.
Is that still something you can't do, or can you hook up? If I have a mic on and I'm doing a documentary and I'm talking and I with the drone shot, is that a capability that they've developed yet?
No, in fact, so when I take video with this drone, and then I download it or upload it on my computer and take a look at it, there's no sound associated with it. So there's the post-edit process, right? The post-flight post-edit process where I'll actually go in and we can add sound, add music, add a voiceover, and kind of layer that into the final product.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. So the end result is there is a way to do it, but when we're talking about the raw video that the aircraft is taking, it's just no sound.
Okay. No sound. And that's what they did. They had, it wasn't me, but they had Simca, who was the star of the show from Israel, voiceover. So when you see me walking around the ruins, there's voiceover talking about it. But I was curious if they had ever gotten to the point where they could, like the movie cameras, where it's all sound and film is all together.
It's
integrated instantly.
Yes.
So it'd be part of the editing process. if you did have a mic and you were recording the sound, to be able to tie that into the video and make sure that it looks like it fits real well.
Absolutely.
But you don't want your mouth moving and then to
You don't
talk.
want the delay, right?
Yeah, right. You don't want the delay where it doesn't fit with the. So that's what I was wondering. They haven't quite gotten that yet. I imagine someday they will, where they will actually figure out a way to have the audio with a drone. I imagine that's coming.
Well, at the end of the day, no matter whether I'm getting pictures or video, that there's half of the job is going out and getting the raw data, and then the second half is sitting at home and doing the editing and making sure that I'm adjusting the lighting, adjusting the colors, and making sure that it looks like a really good professional product.
Right. And the truth is, with a drone, 99% of the time you're going to have voiceover.
Of course.
You're not going to have somebody that you have to match their lip talking, because you're going to have voiceover. Because usually it's going to be up here, and the person is not going to be talking. Yeah. Anyway. So fascinating. But technically, you could make a whole movie with just using a drone camera and get great shots, close-ups of people, all the way up to big shots way up in the air. What? Oh, we got a comment. What's your favorite drone brand?
I like how he calls me out every time. I'm like going real silently going,
yeah.
What you do? What I do wrong now? Busting my balls over here.
So to answer the question, so the question is, what's the favorite drone brand and model? So I have two right now, and they are, this is my primary one right here. It's a DJI Mini 3 Pro, and then my backup is it's a DJI Mavic Air, and they're my favorites because they're the ones I have.
That's a good answer.
They're reliable and because they work. They work very, very well. But I am looking into a couple other drone types. I believe a Skydio, an Autel, Sky Ranger. There's a couple others that are actually American made, and apparently are really, really reliable. Have really good flight times in terms of the batteries, and then just produce outstanding video and pictures. So.
American made's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Well, anytime it's American made, we thumbs up.
Of course. Of course. So I'll be probably shifting in that direction in the near future. But for right now, in terms of being user friendly and reliable with DJI has just been at the cutting edge of drone specific technology.
Now with this one, is it a single person pilot, or do you need two?
Just one person, person. And the neat thing about it has a lot of really neat safety features too. So you got these funny looking little eyeballs here, and then there's a couple sensors, back down at the bottom there. You can see that those are actually collision avoidance sensors. So as I'm flying around, I can set it up to where it'll actually sidestep, or it'll kind of go above things to make sure I don't hit power lines, to make sure I don't hit people or trees or branches and things like that. And then it also has what most of today's drones have is what they call a lost link or a return home plan.
Right.
So that if my controller goes dead and I lose control with the aircraft, it'll fly up to a preset altitude that I know is safe, and then it'll fly over and it'll use GPS to land.
Right.
Literally right in front of me.
Right in front of me.
Or right in the palm of my hand.
I had to ask because the Italian guys actually had two people. They had one guy piloting the drone.
Right.
And then they had one guy operating the camera.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah. They had, so he was flying, and then the other guy would, the camera could do this and and focus. So they had two people running the thing.
Right. So when I'm taking pictures, one of my requirements as a commercial UAS pilot is to always maintain view of the aircraft, so that I'm avoiding birds, I'm avoiding other aircraft, right? So I have a responsibility to see and avoid. So if I see a small aircraft, taking off, maybe out of Libby, right? Or, theoretically, just any obstacle, it's my responsibility to get down and away from that other thing, whether it's an animal or another aircraft, as soon as possible, right? That's my responsibility. That being said, when I take video, that's tricky because I got to be looking at the aircraft, looking at my screen, looking at the aircraft, looking at my screen. So a lot of that is actually pre-planning. So a lot of people don't think about this. They're like, oh, folks go out there, just take some pictures and just shoot some video. No, I actually probably do to 2 to 3 hours of planning in terms of where I'm going to be located when I take the pictures, where I'm going to be located, and then basically rehearse what I'm going to do mentally. And then when I get to a site, I've already thought about it, how I'm going to approach taking those pictures and taking those video, and then have the backup plan for, you know, if I lose link, where's it going to go? Where's it going to land? To make sure that I'm not damaging any property or, you know,
Right.
harming any people.
And I can see advantages of both, because
Of course.
being a single pilot,
Oh yeah.
like you said, you've got to be able to do it all. You know, watching, making sure you got the right picture, but at the same time making sure the flight pattern is correct and you're not having any incidences or stuff like that. Then with two people, the challenge I think was coordination. Because you got to have the guy that flying the drone and the other guy, no, can you go this way, go that way, turn, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because he's manning the camera, but maybe he wants to pilot. So they had to work together real close.
That sounds a lot like what I dealt with in the military. So, you know, we had a pilot and then we had a sensor operator, and their communication skills and crew resource management had to be
In sync.
Yeah. You know, and then, you know, and then you add the layer of, you know, at least in the Marine Corps, right? We had an enlisted pilot, an enlisted sensor operator, and then we had an officer that was essentially a mission commander, right? Now the model has changed over time, but you know, when I was you know, flying the RQ-7 Bravo Shadow system, you know, we had an officer that was overseeing, so you actually had 3 people involved in that mission. So you had to be really careful as an officer, not getting too involved with what the enlisted pilot and what the enlisted sensor
You're like, okay, sir, I got it. You know,
right, exactly.
Like, yeah, you might. I can see where it might get irritating if he's trying to micromanage you, and you're busy trying to fly it. And he's like, go, no, don't do that. Yeah, you got to be in sync.
And so a lot of that was trust based. A lot of that was rehearsals and training.
Right,
So,
and I could tell those two. Well, they were in business, so you know they were partners. So they had it down.
Of course.
They worked as a team, and you could tell. Oh, it was some. We did one where they went right on the coast.
Okay.
And in Sardinia, there's places where there are a lot of mountains, and there's places where the mountains just meet the ocean, right, or the Mediterranean Sea, and hard to get to. And they're flying that drone, just taking beautiful pictures of that coastline, you know, and it was just gorgeous without any effort at all. And then just have it go and then come back. And it was like, oh, you guys got incredible shots. That's what's exciting, is the kind of shots you can get with these things. We were in one of the big towers, and there's these big stone towers from an ancient Bronze Age culture. That's what we were filming. And most of them have like a courtyard in the middle. So me and Simcoe would be in the middle of the courtyard talking, and they would have the drone just slightly above our head, you know, and getting the close-up vision. And then all of a sudden, they would just have it go just straight up. And the show would just like, whoa, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome, yeah. Just zoom out, and then you see the whole, you know, you're inside the structure. Next thing you know, you see the whole thing.
Yes.
And you're like, wow, it's really big.
It really just paints a picture, right? It tells a story.
Yeah.
And it kind of just.
It was awesome. Yeah, awesome what they can do. I imagine it's got to be a lot of fun too.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's a ton of fun. So that's what's really neat, is that I've been able to take something that actually started as a child. So growing up, I would, you know, build and fly remote control airplanes.
Oh, really?
It was a thing that we did. It's
a hobby.
How we spent time together, and you know, teaching me about. But those are, you know, the airplanes with the, you know, the gas motors.
Right.
You know, and so, but they were airplanes, right? Not helicopters or quadcopters, but. And I learned a lot about aviation and a lot about aerodynamics, weather and planning, and, you know, the servos and all that stuff, and kind of took that with me into the military. Was able to help build a really neat capability, you know, with a great team of people for the Marine Corps. And then, you know, in retirement now, I'm able to kind of just take all of that, what really started at 5 or 6 years old. And then turn it into a business where I can serve the community and help
that
people.
Is really good. Yeah, because anytime you can have a work that you do that you're passionate about, that you enjoy.
Yes.
Like, I mean, let's be honest, probably 80% of the people don't have that. You know, there's a lot, and sadly to say, a lot of people have a job that they don't really like, you know. So it's actually, if you can have a job that you enjoy and you love what you're doing, that is a big plus in life.
Absolutely.
Huge plus.
Absolutely. You know,
So,
when I retired, you know, I retired a little over a year ago, and you know, I knew that I wanted to take a little bit of time off to kind of decompress, go hiking, you know, shooting, spend time with my wife and my dogs, and kind of reconnect with friends and family. Because 20 years in the Marine Corps, I mean, it takes a lot out of you.
It
You know, I
does.
deployed a lot,
And
trained
there's a
lot.
big adjustment to
There-
the civilian world, because
Yes.
the civilian world's very different.
Yeah, oh, yes, it
Things
is.
are very different
Yes.
than the military. So you have to learn that.
Absolutely.
You have to learn
I
it.
needed that adjustment period, but I also used that time to kind of think about what it was that I wanted to do with the rest of my life. You know,
Mhm.
42, 43 years old, retiring.
Way too young to sit on the couch and
I was like,
watch soap operas.
You're right.
Like,
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take
and
my,
then you get like this.
I'm gonna take
You
my
know.
time, take my time to rest a little bit, but then figure out, okay, what can I do in the realm of possibility? I can go
Mhm.
back to school. I can do anything. I can become a doctor. I can become a lawyer. I can, you know, I can be a teacher. There's so many things. And when I thought about it, I said, you know what? I have this skill. I love aviation. I love teaching. I love helping people. And this is just a great opportunity to take something that's an emerging technology, if you think about it.
Right, right.
There's so many things.
It's moving fast.
And it's moving so fast.
It's
And I
moving
said,
fast.
you know, this is something that I know, at least locally, you know, it was a gap that needed to be filled in terms of having a good, you know, videographer, photographer for real estate, but not just for that. It's for all the other things, right? For all the other commercial applications, safety applications, you know, support to local law enforcement, maybe even. There's just so many uses for it, and I said this is something I can focus on,
Yeah.
grow, and then you know, provide a service.
Yeah, even special events. You know, if we have a,
Absolutely.
you know, if you got, let's think of an example. You know, if you have an event at the park,
Right.
Veterans Park, right? Like when they have, what's the big, every year they have the big carnival in the park. What's that called?
They got this fest coming up soon, this 4th to the next weekend.
So I could see where, yeah, the organizers of those events would be very smart, very wise. If you're listening, just a little hint to employ you
Sure.
to go and actually film and get beautiful shots of the whole event,
Of course.
you know, and help promote that. Say, look what's going on at Veteran Park right now today, you know, here till next weekend or whatever, and just get all the aerial. So just suggestion for you people out there organizing these events. Matter of fact, you know, there's probably a Marine Corps that has a big event, an ex-Marine that has a big event
Got
coming
the
up this
Ovilus.
fall. I'm not gonna mention any names.
I'll mention the name.
Yeah.
Got the Ovilus from-
I didn't
we
do
just
it.
talked about this. He and I literally just
Oh,
talked about
oh, were you?
this. We talked about it about an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
We were,
So,
we
yeah,
were,
because
we were looking at the planning.
Okay.
We actually were contacting some folks from the city to
okay,
find out about how we can legally and safely do that and get the permits to do it.
because that's gonna be a big event.
It
that
is.
you're putting together.
You know, so again, from a safety perspective, right? It's something that I want to do. It's something that I would love to dedicate my time to. I just got to make sure that I do it safely.
Yeah.
And that, you know, because I can't fly directly over people, so I have to find a way to maybe launch from, you know, the bed of my truck and fly straight up, so that the only thing under, you know, under this aircraft is me and my property, and that if that aircraft fell out of the sky for whatever reason, it's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to damage any property.
Oh,
So,
wait a
but I
minute.
can do that.
You're gonna have to, so you're telling me
Mhm.
that if you were filming, you couldn't fly that thing right over my head?
Legally, I cannot fly this aircraft directly over unless I have a special-
Anybody?
You know,
That would be. I didn't.
there are certain ways to get waivers, and there are ways to get, you know, authorization to do that. It's a lot of planning, and so it's
Oh wow!
possible. It is
See, I
possible.
wouldn't know this.
It is possible, but right
It
out the
is.
gate for a recreational, you know,
No,
pilot or a
it's-
commercial pilot,
Oh wow!
under
Okay.
normal circumstances, no.
Because a lot of things you would want to.
Of course.
You would want to go,
Yes.
especially if it was a big event and there
Oh,
was
yeah.
people everywhere. you'd want to be able to fly over and capture all that.
Sure.
So
So from
that-
a safety perspective, I mean, you got something, you know, flying at a very high rate of speed with some really sharp propellers here.
Mhm.
And if for whatever reason I lost control of the data link, you know, between the aircraft and my controller,
Right.
right? So, but
So
there are
another big
precautions.
thing to know about.
Mhm.
See, I wouldn't have known that.
So again,
I would just been flying it over Eric's head and not worried about it. And Eric,
Stand still.
yeah, and Eric could be, yeah, he's gonna shoot it down. No, that surprised me. I did not know that. That's why you have to have a license,
that's it. So
because you
know, it
study
makes-
all that.
Absolutely.
So
So
I'm sure you take a test.
there is a test.
You
There
know,
is a
for
test.
to get
It's
your, yeah, I'm
FAA
sure.
Part 107 test. So
Um,
really, in order to take that test, it's essentially all the education that a FAA private pilot ground school. It's basically that entire,
Wow.
and it's a lot of knowledge, right?
Right.
And a lot of it is about safety. It's about planning. It's about airspace, and then legal requirements to safely conduct day and or night operations, right? So,
Right.
and they have their requirements, and you have to stay within those bounds.
What about aliens? Do they have separate requirements?
You know, if they're out there,
No,
they probably
I
don't
just-
care.
the aliens floating around go, okay, there's another one of them drones, you know, zap. And then
Gone.
they're gone. It just kind of disintegrates. You're like, where's my zone? Where's my drone? Yeah. Had to bring up aliens. I'm
course,
sorry.
of
Got to
course.
bring up aliens and drones. What?
Elon Musk knows, though.
Yeah.
You know he knows.
Yeah. Of course, he was on Tucker Carlson not too long ago on an hour-long show,
Right.
and Tucker Carlson actually asked him about. Did you see that?
I heard
aliens?
about it. I heard
And
about it.
Elon Musk said there weren't, or he said he didn't have any knowledge of. You know, I was like, yeah,
Good
okay.
political
The
response.
I know, and I'm thinking, well, the Navy's already come out and said they exist, so I don't know what you're trying to hide. Because the Navy now has gotten official and said, "Yep, we don't know what these are, but they're
We know they're unidentified.
and we know they're
Are
not,
they
yeah,
from outside, you know, Earth, or are
Right.
they unidentified?
but
from
they're not
Earth?
ours. They're
We
not
don't
the
know.
Chinese. They're not the Russians. We don't know.
We don't know.
they're probably not the one. They're probably not from Argentina either. You know, it's like, if they're not from one of the big three ones, we don't know where they're from. Anyway, yeah, that was interesting. Elon Musk, yeah. What? He's just I'm ranting and raving. I know. Oh, we got some videos to show, don't we? Don't we? This is good. Before I run out of time.
Oh no, you're doing good. You got that soapbox out, right?
No soapbox tonight so far.
Ooh, no soapbox.
Have I been on a soapbox yet?
Not yet. Yet. See, yet. Ah, there it is.
Nothing's like popped in my head yet. A lot of times I get on a soapbox about some kind of issue.
Okay.
So what do you want? Video or slides?
Let's crank the video first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a treat for you folks. We actually have some interesting videos. And
So hopefully this is looking good on the viewer end here. But this is just a quick example of a property I shot out in Texas, and this is kind of just an up and away perspective of this property in Wimberley, Texas, owned by some family friends of mine, Liz, Elizabeth, and Scott Stevens. So essentially, you know, getting an up and away view and perspective of their property, and then getting like a 180-degree, you know, pan of their property to kind of show that it sits on a hilltop,
right.
and that, you know, they got this really gorgeous property in the Texas Hill Country, right? So if you kind of take a look at something like that, that's you know, an example of one of the services that I can provide to local realtors as they, you know, list their homes for sale and try to get a quick turnaround on,
Right.
you know, on homes. So
Yeah. And I like, again, the being able to zoom out and come back in and circle around. Yeah.
absolutely.
Go overhead, see the pool.
Yes.
You know, you can get everything. It's just,
Absolutely. You know, so in addition to that, you know, using the drone for the external stuff is fun. It's really neat. But I also do, you know, in interior photography, right? So if I can do interior photography and then do exterior, you know, aerial perspectives like this, it's kind of a one-stop shop for, you know, for realtors, where I can provide those services and get those houses sold as quickly as possible. Have happy customers.
you know how they used to do this before drones. Do you know how?
With helicopter.
Yeah.
Which is extremely expensive if you
Yes.
think about it, right?
Well, that's what Simca, the guy from Israel, pointed out, because he's an old time guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got 3 Emmy awards for documentary, but he was saying, yeah, we used to have to get up on a helicopter. You got the pilot, you got the camera guy. It was noisy, it was shaky, and kind of scary too. He said, because you got the door open and you're flying around a helicopter with a camera like this, and he said it was actually kind of dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous.
I mean, so when you think about it too financially, from the perspective of how much does it cost to have a helicopter, a pilot, the maintenance,
the camera guy, all of it. Yep. And if you're a real estate agent, you wanted a shot like this, and you had to go pay for a helicopter, forget it. Forget it. Right. It's not an option.
But that's something
Hollywood had it. That's it.
Right.
I mean, really.
But now it's it's accessible.
And now it's low cost, accessible. Absolutely. Just amazing.
And honestly, quick. I'm glad you mentioned what you did. It's not only low cost, but it's quick turnaround too, right? So I can show up at 8 o'clock. I can spend about an hour getting photographs, and then sometimes as soon as late in the afternoon or sometime the next day. So 24 to 48 hour quick turnaround. Giving me enough time to get the raw data, edit it, and then data transfer it to a customer.
So you're your own editor too.
I am. So right now I'm the owner. I am the pilot. I am the editor, the videographer, photographer. But in the future, I know I'm going to reach the point where and this is a shout out to any young folks out in town that have editing skills, that are good at videography and photography. And specifically editing. If I can do the piloting. And then hand that off to a young lady or a young man that is professional and can help me out. That'll just help the business grow. Right? Yeah. And then we can.
Yeah, you got to have a good editor for everything.
Absolutely.
Everything have to good editor.
And it's a steep learning curve too. Flying the aircraft and having the qualification to do that is just part of it. Mm-hmm. It's learning all the editing. It's learning everything that goes into all of that, and the social media and the marketing and keeping up with with just everything in terms of technology as it's progressing. And it's progressing quickly.
I know I did some work with another guy, Brett Allen, in town in the past, who works on some TV, and we did a little thing in Tombstone once, mm-hmm. And he had an editor in California, so everything would have to be sent to the editor, and then we'd have to go back and forth sometimes about what's going to get cut or how we're going to do this and stuff. Kind of a nice advantage. You do it yourself.
Yes.
To be honest,
because it gives me the flexibility to turn around because there's less.
Because you want it local.
Absolutely.
See, sending it off to California was kind of it'd be better if it was local.
Absolutely.
And then your clients can just, hey, I like this, but hey, can you change it? Can you? Oh, you cut out that one picture. I really like that one. Can you put that back in? That kind of thing.
Right. Actually, I was really fortunate earlier today. I met, and I have his business card here, Johnny Tackett from Johnny Tackett Media, also a fellow veteran. Met him earlier today. Wonderful opportunity for he and I to work together. Because
was that the young guy that came to our meeting that one?
Kind of longer hair.
Yeah. Skinny, kind of slim.
Yeah. Great guy.
Yes. We got to get him on the show too.
It would be.
Remember, when it was a couple months ago, we have a meeting once every month on a second Tuesday of every month, and he was there, and he's not going to be here long. He said he was going to move to Phoenix.
He said he was looking at moving to Phoenix.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
What? If he and
I nice guy.
If he and I can team up and do some work together, but I need someone like him. That'll help the business grow. Yeah. Until then, it'll be me, and I'll be doing the best I can. Right.
I'm thinking you, him, me. I think in the future we're gonna make a movie.
We can grow it out.
We're gonna make a movie. I want to make a movie. Eric, you want to help us make a movie?
I'll make a movie.
See, Eric will help us make a movie.
Awesome.
I joke, but actually, it's doable.
Yeah, it takes effort.
We could do an amateur film. And you got all those. As a matter of fact, they have an amateur film festival in Tucson.
Okay.
And of course, you got ones like Sundance in Utah. Sure. You never know. You can submit one of your films and it takes off.
Sky's literally the limit.
You don't know. I might be calling you in the future, going, I think I got a script. We're gonna do it. Can you act, Eric? Are you a good actor?
No.
Come on. You can act.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, let's look at
Yeah, let's look at some more stuff.
All right. So yeah, here's just a quick photo I actually took out of the Sonoran Desert Museum. So the owl, I picked the owl as essentially our mascot for our logo.
I like that.
I've been a huge fan of owls. You know, owls are wise. They're stealthy hunters, and they're just gorgeous, beautiful animals.
Yes. Great.
Day and night capable.
I agree.
So yeah, I thought getting a majestic owl and integrating it into a spectral feather.
And you
logo.
got the owl on your logo.
That's it. That's it. So
and they can't see it.
It was really awesome. Really awesome to see one and get pictures up at the Sonoran Desert Museum in Tucson. Let's roll to the next one if we can.
Yeah, I like that picture. He's just chilling.
So yeah, this is a good example of taking some aerial photography of plot of land, right? Which there's a lot of land that's for sale around here, and in fact, Cody Hoyer from ERA Four Feathers asked me to help her out, and so I was able to go out to Portal and Rodeo and shoot a bunch of parcels of land out there to help her get those sold. And so it was a great opportunity for me because I not only got the aerial shots, but then I was able to put the boundary lines for the plots.
That's big, yeah.
It is just for perspective, right?
Right.
So, and it's one thing to be on the ground or look at like Google Maps, right? But to get a perspective like that with the mountains in the back, and to kind of get an idea of what's around there in terms of power lines or other neighbors you may have.
And actually, see, I own 36 acres up in northern Arizona.
Okay.
Raw land like that.
Yeah.
No water, no nothing. Just raw land. I bought it years ago. And yeah, I can go to Google Earth and kind of guess, it's like, well, I know it's next to that hill, but it's 36 acres. I would love to have a shot like this of that land with the actual border.
Sure.
So I could actually see that's my property, that big square, not.
That's it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yep.
I like that. That would be a big plus for me to be able to see that on my land.
Right. And so, from the perspective of a potential buyer, right, you're getting, so for a job like this, I would take all four corners, I would take an overhead, and then maybe even shoot some quick video too from the ground and then backing up in a way so that you can see detail, but then also kind of see, with those gorgeous mountains there in Portal, that's just, what a jaw dropper.
Yep. That's a cool function.
Let's
I can see that'd be very useful.
All right, so here's a picture that I took at my buddy Fino Palacios, his ranch out in Lampasas, Texas. So Fino and I were actually in the Marines together. We deployed to Iraq together, and so I got to do some hog hunting with him and his family. But we woke up really early, and I was kind of showing him the drone and getting a bunch of pictures of his ranch. And I said, man, I'm going to take some pictures of your ranch house as the sun is coming up. And the pictures came out pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
They came out gorgeous.
See,
so the colors were
because now you're becoming an artist. You're an artist here, okay? Because photography is a form of art. That's artistic.
It is.
So if I was selling my house and you did that shot for me, I'd be thrilled because now it shows my home with warmth. Yes. With the sunrise, with the peace and warmth, that's artistic, and I'd be like, fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate that because that's specifically what I was aiming to capture in that photograph. The night before, he had talked to me about how he had worked really hard to get that ranch for him and his family, how it was a place of refuge for them, and I said, I want to see if I can capture your home. And he had talked about wanting to get a picture like this so that he could put it, in his home in Austin. And I think we accomplished that.
Yeah, because you would buy that home because you would look at this picture and you'd say, and instantly you'd feel like that's my home. That's it. I would there be peace and comfort in there and warmth. Good job. That's the way to sell real estate right there. That's the way to do it. That's the way to sell real estate.
And that morning, there was actually just this mist, this layer of fog that you can kind of see out and towards the horizon. And that's natural. I didn't really. The picture is edited right for color and light in certain areas, but there was just this really neat little mist.
Good job.
Yeah, it came out really nice. You can go roll to the next one, please.
Good job.
Okay, so there's Restaurant formerly known as Ricardo's is now going to be La Sierra Grill Steakhouse, owned by a veteran as well, Manuel Garajeda. And so I did some work for him recently, capturing some aerial photography of his new restaurant. I believe they're opening in a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Turn right here and just go down the street.
Oh, is that right?
And oops, and it curves around, and
Okay.
my house is right there.
Oh, so you're gonna have a great Mexican food place to
Yep.
eat at
Yep.
here pretty soon.
Yep.
So
Oops, I dropped the card. I'll get
yeah,
it
I think
later.
it fell on the other.
Yeah, we'll get it later.
So so just again, giving you different. So this is one that we actually wanted to upload like to Google Maps, right? And for social media purposes. That way, you kind of build the hype. Hey, Ricardo's has now turned over to La Sierra Grill Steakhouse, and this is brand new parking, brand new paint. The interior I hear is going to look really phenomenal. So
Yeah, it's in walking distance.
yes,
Yes,
big
for
win.
me. Yes.
Big win.
So I could even decide, well, I don't drink much anymore.
All
But if I
right.
did, I could have a few drinks and just walk home.
You could. Just be careful crossing the highway there.
Yeah.
So yeah, this picture here, with the snow that we had back in December, same thing. Woke up early in the morning, the sun was just coming up, and I said, I got to get a picture of the neighborhood, out in Foothills Ranch, and with the huachucas in the background, and I said, hey, this is a good time to capture.
Yep.
We don't get to snow too often,
Right.
So
You got to capture it when you got,
Yep,
because it's going to melt off.
that's right. Yeah,
By the
it
afternoon, it's
was
gone.
gone by the end of the day.
So good job. Yeah.
all right,
Nice picture.
thanks,
Nice shots.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it is. It's technology, but it's but it's also art.
It is.
That's the thing. It's technology and art combined. So, no, AI can't do that yet. AI they're getting there though.
Oh, they're getting there.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
To where AI would know I can be artistic too. Yeah. All right. Been thinking about that a lot lately. That AI thing. I'm gonna get on a soapbox. That's it. AI.
All right.
We're gonna talk about.
Let's talk AI.
I finally figured it out because again, the Elon Musk thing, right? So I've always thought to myself, I got a quiz for you two. In the past, there was another machine that man made that we completely lost control of. What is it? What is it? It is an actual machine. It's a type of machine. And we created it. And once we created it, we lost control of it. It now controls us.
What is it?
Give up? The clock.
Okay.
We created a clock. We no longer control you. You can't decide, I'm not going to pay attention to that thing anymore. You can take the battery out, make it quit working, but it's still going to control you.
Right.
You're still going, oh man, I don't even know what time it is. I took the battery. We lost control of the clock. Now, before that, people just like, okay, the sun's up, time to go to work. But think about it. So AI could be the same way. We could get to the point where we create it. Yes, we can unplug it at any time, but if we create it to where it's so integrated into everything we do, banking, your electric power bill, all that stuff, and you're like, and it starts to take over and get too smart, and we're gonna go on, and it'll be like, go ahead, I dare you, unplug me, go ahead. You won't have electricity, you won't be able to get the money out of your bank, and we'll be like, wow, we did create something we lost control of. Think about that. That's how I see us losing control of AI. That makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a cost benefit analysis and, the positive things that we can get from AI, but it can get out of control.
It could.
It has the potential.
It could.
Absolutely. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
Just like the clock has. Now you have to be here 10 sharp, especially being in the military. You have to obey that clock to a T. You better not be 2 minutes late. So, anyway, that was my soapbox. There we are. AI. Thank you. I have
Relatively
it.
quick.
So, we got more? Any more footage?
We got one more.
One more.
That was the one with you and Josh.
Okay. Yeah. Let's we bring that up real quick. So so what we got here is just a quick QR code for any of the viewers out there. So what we're looking to do as a small committee here at the Warrior Healing Center is bring attention to the veteran suicide crisis. And so what we've done is we've created a QR code that'll take you to a change.org petition that we're hoping to get all the veteran-owned businesses to sign, so that sometime in late May we can have an event, hopefully backed by local community leaders, so that we can essentially send this petition to the state of Arizona or Arizona leadership, highlighting the issue and hoping to affect future funding. The statistics, can be found at the QR code with the petition and the information outlined there. But it's pretty shocking when you take a look at the statistics in terms of the amount of veterans that have committed suicide throughout history. And then when you compare the statistics to, service members that we've lost in individual wars and conflicts, but then cumulatively as well. And so anything that we can do to curb that crisis and get the funding and the necessary help to veterans, so that we can take a bite out of those statistics positively, and then get to a point where we're significantly reducing those numbers by helping people. But it all starts with local effort. It starts with county effort, and then all the way up to the state level, and hopefully federally as well. But at least keeping it Arizona, we're hoping to enact change and taking that petition out to out to the leadership of the state of Arizona.
So go to change.org.
Mm-hmm.
Just search "Stop Veteran Suicide Warrior Healing Center."
Yep, the URL or the QR code will get you right to the petition. So for any veteran-owned businesses out there, if you could help us out with reviewing the information and signing the petition, you'll be a part of the team effort to help get the attention needed by the state of Arizona for future funding. It would be much appreciated.
And it's in the comments.
There was a message that we missed that's not there now. It was somebody telling them that they also were a pilot, just in case he ever needed
I
some
saw
help.
that, something about an upslip.
Yeah, you want to bring that up? Can you bring that back up? Yeah. And then there's one about me hitting the desk. Have I been hitting the desk
Stop
too
hitting
much?
the desk, Rob.
Stop
Chris.
hitting the
Right next
desk.
to the microphone.
I apologize to all my viewers for hitting the desk too much.
So we got Chris
Okay.
Sedlock. Okay, need an upslip. I'm pilot, I fly.
Okay.
All right. So Chris, just reach out to me on social media and look forward to chatting with you.
What's
We can talk.
upslip? What's that mean?
It can mean a couple different things. So typically an upslip is, when you have a medical, slip to fly, it's called an upslip. But he's telling me, I'm not sure exactly what he's
saying. He can go.
or maybe he's trying to say I have an upslip.
I got you.
Can't fly, or I am.
I'm
you
good
know,
to
an
go. He's
available pilot.
basically telling you he's good to go.
Correct.
That's what he's saying.
That's
Good.
my assumption. We'll
I'm
see.
G to G. I'm
I
good to
look
go.
forward to talking to Chris. Though.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I
Thank
thought that
you.
was important. Yeah, but I didn't want to miss that.
Of course.
There you go. And maybe he's probably a veteran.
Hope so.
Probably. So, all right. So that's it for the video. Great shots. Great shots. So
Thank you.
this is exciting stuff. I think it's wonderful that you're able to do something that you're passionate about. Not just now. You've been passionate about this ever since you were a kid.
Of course.
You were passionate about it when you served in the Marine Corps, and now you're going to continue to do it on a civilian basis, and learn all the civilian ins and outs.
Definitely.
If you need help in there, we can help you.
Yeah.
I've been a civilian a lot more than I've been in the military, so I know the civilian world pretty well. But it can be different.
Yes.
A lot of people coming out of the military, you have to adjust and go, wow, things are done different out here, in the
Definitely.
civilian world. But great opportunity. I can see a lot of potential
Absolutely.
to do. And even local businesses want to get a good ad on Facebook, and you're tired of doing the same old, Facebook post, and you want something more unique, and you want a little video with some voiceover, and I could, especially like a Carla. Lolly, he's not on here. He should pay it. Anybody out there working Lolly, I could see Lolly doing this, flying over the lots going, hey, here's some of the specials we got. And oh, I mean, cool.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Right? I mean, all kinds of things you could do for
you're
business.
limited to your imagination,
Yeah.
your creativity, and how you want to market something. But having a tool like this is
And you got a local person, and I'm going to assume that since you're local and not coming from Tucson or Phoenix, probably a lot more cost benefit
absolutely.
compared to if I was to call a bigger company from Phoenix or Tucson to come down and do a big shoot for me. I'm probably going to pay a little bit.
It's pricey.
Yeah.
So not only that, in terms of cost is one thing, but in turnaround time.
And
for the
turnaround,
product. Yeah. I mean, I'm local. I can do it a lot cheaper and a lot quicker.
There you go. That's a big
It
plus
is.
to me. So all of you out there paying attention, know somebody owns a business, whether they're a veteran or not, I don't care. If they own a business, they can probably use this guy and his services to get some marketing. And marketing is huge aspect of any business. It's always a challenge. Not only get the word out, but just to keep remind people, I'm still here, I'm still here, I'm still in business. Come support me. So yeah, another great tool here in Sierra Vista. I think you'll do real well. I really do.
Thank you. Yeah, I
I
look
think you're
forward
going
to
to
it.
have a lot of opportunities, and all of Cochise County. You know, I mean, Tombstone, I can see having some great shots over there.
Bisbee
Some
as
of
well.
them in Bisbee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good deal.
Yeah. Well, before we sign off, I just want to say thanks for your time.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah,
No, that's
for
what we
you
do
and
here.
Eric, thank you.
Yeah, that's what we do.
To Tim and Kathy, thanks for the opportunity to come on the show here. There's a whole lot of veteran-owned businesses that have come to my help and assisted me as well.
Mhm.
So Keith and Polly over at Sunset Water Gardens have been really helpful. There's of course realtors here in town that are veterans as well that have been extremely helpful in giving me feedback and getting me pointed in the right direction. And really just all of the veteran-owned businesses I've found have been very supportive of each other.
That's what we do.
Really wonderful community.
That's
to
what
be
we
a
do.
part of. So
And yeah, come to don't forget our meetings.
yes,
Anytime. I know a lot of people can't make it to meetings every month because we're all busy, but it's nice when we can get together. Like I said, the second Tuesday, and then we get to meet each other, and then people find out all the different services. I'm like, oh, you do this? Oh, you do that? Oh, I'm interested. We need to talk after the meeting. That kind of stuff.
yeah, great.
So yeah, it's important. We try hard to support each other. Any small business today, it's a challenge. It's tough. It's tough to have a business today against the big guys. The big guys. So veteran-owned businesses, local, take advantage of them. Every one of them. If you need a drone, you got the guy right here. If you need keto drinks, you got another guy over there. New restaurant opening up in town.
That's right.
Well, actually out in Hereford. And no, Hereford's not that far away. Okay. So what's the name of the Mexican restaurant?
It's La Sierra Grill Steakhouse.
La Sierra Grilled Steakhouse. We'll have to try to get them on the show as well.
Absolutely, yes.
So, but no, Hereford's not that far. A lot of people that live in Sierra Vista, oh, I don't drive that far. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're driving to Tucson. You can drive 10 minutes to Hereford. Don't tell me it's too far to drive out there. So support that restaurant when they open in a couple weeks, you said?
The last I heard, it was a couple weeks.
Couple weeks, yeah.
Hopefully
There.
sooner.
Soapbox number 2. Yeah, support your local veteran businesses.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I think we're time to sign off. Eric, I'll be here next week.
You'll be here next week.
Yes.
Okay.
The week after, I'm actually going to be gone again.
Oh, we're gonna have to go on hiatus.
And you take over. You do great by yourself. You don't need me.
Oh, I know just who to get. He owns a truck.
No. You are not going to have Gunny on the show without me.
Why you even gotta tell?
Oh, well.
Oh, mistake. You ruined it.
Well, that's not next week. Who's next week?
Oh, I know exactly who next week.
Well, who is it? I want to know.
I can't tell you.
Why can't you tell me?
Because you got to be here to interview him next week.
Oh, and our guests have to tune in to find out.
That's right.
So yeah, surprise.
So until
I'm
then,
excited about next week. I personally am interested in what we're going to be talking about. I'm just saying. I'm saying. Okay.
Until then, as always,
Thank
for
you.
everybody that's been commenting. Remember, by all means, definitely like
Yeah.
and share this video if you don't get a chance. Then how are other people supposed to find out about all the veteran-owned businesses here in Sierra Vista and beautiful Cochise County? Otherwise, it wouldn't be called Cochise Spotlight.
Oh yeah, I always forget to say that. Yeah, I was just okay. It's Coach Spot. All right, signing off.
Take care.
See you
everyone.
next
We'll
week.